Hello everyone, I'm sorry for the interruption on my last video, or what I tried to do last. There was the home and I had to do some homework, but I was going to show you my figures, or my Marvel figures, and tell you a little bit about Stan Lee. Is how he created the first Marvel character was Spider-Man. He created many others, but Stan Lee, Spider-Man was most famous at the time. Then he created more and more, and then he created the Avengers, the X-Men, the villains. And the only thing I don't have in my whole roster is Spider-Man. Now, I only have one version of Spider-Man, but it's not really Spider-Man. His name is Iron Spider. So, here he is. Boop, 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 boop. This is a masher. What's cool about a masher is that it's like an action figure, except you can take it apart and put it on something else. Like, for instance, you can take this. Sorry, guys. This figure's body parts off and put it on this body part. Now, if you lose a piece and you want to like replace it with something, I have one figure that has it. Bam! It's Hank Pym's hand and head, but Vision's body. So that's another thing. I didn't want to do those. I didn't want to do the figures like that because I thought that it would offend you or defend you or not be okay. So I went ahead and collected all the heroes, hero and villain that had the body parts of its natural figure. Now, some of you, if you don't know, these are mashers where you can take it apart and put it on some other masher. Like I said, if a body part is missing, then you can replace it. Now, this figure and my other figure and another figure has many of my figures have their own body parts. One of them is missing a head. I'm gonna do one more figure if I can. Now, this video might be a little longer because Stan Lee was a very important guy. He was important to me, and I thought that I would give him some love for figures like these. So, and this character I did not do yet, but I did Captain America, Thor. That's all the masters. I also did the Venom or Deadpool Venom and Carnage. I think those are all the videos I did on my action figures. Now I have repeats, but I thought it would be pretty important. Now one of my figures is going to have accessories because my other figures that have accessories will already be together. So here's this, and I'm not going to take apart its body parts because I don't really want to put it back together. Now the only body part you can't take apart is the feet. Of course, it's always on there. But you can take the part of the head, the half of this shoulder right here, so you can only take this part off. You can't take any of these parts off. You can take this whole leg off, and you can also take, you can take apart its foot, like that. So you can do that. Now, these guys are really easy to stand. One of them is really hard to stand, so you can put in, like, poses, but you can't put in most poses because it looks weird. Like that pose is right. Oh, there's my phone. Sorry. So this is Iron Spider. It has the original design of the little emblem here, the symbol here, a spider, and it has a little bit of gold here. There's nothing wrong with this character except the bottoms. I don't know what these are for. Well, I know it's for. You can take apart if Captain America's shield, for instance. You can probably right on there. You can also put it here because there's a little peg hole right there. Anything that has a peg hole, you can probably put the shield or any other peg hole type snake on it. Shin here, you can also put it on its back because of these pegs here. And you can do it on its shoulders if you really want to. And you can do it on its arm, like I said before. You can do it under its hand, like I said before. So that's pretty cool. This guy is mostly the plain colors of red and gold, as you can see. It's trying to give off the impression of a suit, because Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, created the suit for Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, but instead another figure or another guy wore this suit, which also became the Hulk. And some of my figures aren't really action figures, they're more of the Infinities. Now we have the biggest character I have so far that isn't a masher or any other character that's really big. So if you compare this to like this character, it's pretty massive. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And this guy I did do already. So if you're wondering, I already did this guy, but I'm gonna redo him. So this that was weird. I don't know what that was. This is Colossus. Now I'm gonna turn him a little. This guy has no. I have no problem with him. There might be a and I might do this for a separate video, but this has a bit of an interesting look to it, and some of the parts on this thing do not make sense. Now this figure here came with some accessories, not like Venom's, where he came with a lot of stuff because he was Venom and he really wanted to come with a lot of stuff. I mean the Deadpool Venom or Carnage. But this guy came with a pretty good set of things. So first off, I'm going to talk about the other accessories. So I'm going to put this guy right there. So this guy here, I have no idea what his name is, but the Colossus figure came with a hand. I don't know if it's a right hand or if it's a left hand, but I don't know. It's like a saw hand, and you can just clip it onto the figure once it's ready. And so with the head, this head is pretty cool. I like the hair. And this is obviously a machine, a robot. I don't know its name, his name, her name. I have no idea, but I thought it was pretty cool. And look at that expression. It's pretty funny. I like this because of its teeth. You really never get to see a person's teeth except the Joker and the Two-Face and one of my mashers and the Hulk. But this guy makes it real because half of his mouth is open, so you could see like its teeth separated. Now, it might seem bigger on your screen because of but it's actually quite small. The hair is probably the biggest part about it. The saw is obviously also a big part of it. But I don't know. I don't have the package for this figure or this figure, so this is gonna be pretty hard. But this is probably part of the X-Men pack, so I kind of redid it. And now let's move on to the accessory that you probably all seen in the bag. It is his young version of his head. So you got the young version of his head. Now this head is probably hard to get onto its figure. That's why I like leaving one head on the body, and I get used to it. But I always keep this safe in some spot because I used to lose all my pieces. So I decided to put it in a bag. So, oh yeah, just so you know, I want to talk about one more thing. I really want you guys to support me in this thing because this is probably my most important thing of all. And I talked about some Marvel movies and some other Marvel-related stuff, but I'm probably going to be talking about these Stan Lee cameos, about Stan Lee, so on and so far. Let's talk about this guy. So this guy is interesting. With this head, he looks different, but with this head, he looks a lot different because he looks a lot younger and has no beard. And his head is probably the smallest head, if you think about it, but it's still pretty cool. It looks like he's wearing a mask, right? Am I right? This guy's hair looks a little more pointy. This hair does not. It looks more shaved off. So that's pretty cool. So the comparison. And the head is the only part you can probably take off, or can take off, because you have like the ab crunch with the twisty turny majiggy. So yeah, the ab crunch, which actually gives it more of a humanoid and a metal look. And you can sort of turn this hand a little, but it's kind of a little harder because it is in the this piece is in the way. But you kind of get more poses that way, and you can flex his muscles if you really wanted to. You can also do like that, and the same with this hand. This hand's a little easier because of its way it's made. Its feet also has that. It has the weird legend now type of thing. And at the bottom of the boot, actually, it's just the bottom of the boot where it's turning here. You have the turner, as it's pronounced. And then you have the thigh turn, which is kind of weird for me because it lines up and it just moves. This character, sort of, if you do this, it kind of shakes. But that's weird. And like I said, you have the twist, and his head does turn minimum. But it's weird because when you turn it all the way up, it looks like the piece is going to come off because of the under there. Now, about this head, it's really hard to get on, and you don't know if you get it on right because of the way the head is put on. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And what I like about this character is that I actually got a Colossus figure. He's actually one of my first X-Men non-mashable character. So, and I don't know why he's posed like this, but it's the easiest. This guy is a little bit easier, or a little bit easy to make a pose in, but there are some things you just can't do. But he has the X-Men kind of color to it, and he also has the X-Men logo. Now, the one thing about this character is that he does not have the belt of the X-Men because of the classic one. So that was a pretty cool character. Personally, I thought that was a cool character, and he's one of my biggest characters that isn't a masher. And I hope you guys can hear me because I have a bit of a problem with that, with this camera angle. So what I'm going to do. Next up, we have a non-action figured character. And this character is one of the interesting characters. He's part of a game. This is Iron Man. Now, I think Black Widow, but I don't have her in my section right now. But this is the Iron Man. Now, as you can see, he's in a pose because this is a game where I don't know what it was exactly called, but I have other figures from Skylanders, which is actually from Skylanders game, not the Infinity, whatever it's called. I have the Avengers, some of them, and I have Star Wars, 2 of them. So that was pretty cool, but this guy's a little banged up because I used him for action figure stuff, but it's not used for action figures, so I suggest not doing that if you really want this guy to keep it nice. This is probably one of my nicer figures because my Hulk version of this is way worse because of its mashing stuff. But this guy's cool because he is the Avengers Assembles show version of him with the 2 things here. Also the repulsor here you always got. And I like this pose because, well, it's a good pose. But in the game where you put it on the pad, and in the world you can control him without even having to do anything with this guy. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just like the Lego Dimensions game, but this guy is not a Lego. He is more of a Sposen. Now, I like this because each of the different movies and Disney, Infinity. I can't remember. But it's something Disney something. And on the bottom, it says 2.0. If you can see that, 2.0 right there. I also have the Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka. But this is the 3.0. So I thought, and this is Star Wars, and this is not with Darth Vader. And it's broken, and it's on the Wii U. So Yeah, sorry about if you don't like this figure, then I'm sorry, but this is part of the Marvel Universe, and this is like a statue, and you can put it on your shelf if you really don't want to buy the game. Or if you don't want to play the game, and you can just put it on your shelf. Or do what I do, which is not the best solution, is play with them. So this is like the, oh yeah, forgot to turn on like this. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, he's like shooting at someone. So you can, if you want to play with him, then he's pretty good. You can like fly him in the air, do that. But it's kind of weird because when you do this, it's just. But with this hand right here, it's actually shooting at someone. You can like bam, shoot him right there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And sounds so good. Next up, we have another. Whoops, sorry guys. We have Thor. I should really probably not drop things if I'm gonna play them. So this is Thor, and this is a weird one because, well, you kind of have to put him in a pose, and you can smash him with your hammer. You can bump him. But this is damage for like the red stuff, that red stuff here, and the red on his helmet. So that's pretty bad. But other than that, oh yeah, and the scratches on the cape, which you probably can't see because of the camera. But this is also a 2.0. All my Avengers one are 2.0. So I thought that was pretty sad. But still, I thought it was pretty cool. Even though this character cannot be played with, I still do. And usually, because also another reason this gets damaged is because it's sitting on the bottom or the top, crumbled between my other figures in my bin. So that's another reason why it's damaged. But this guy looks like he's worn out. I had him for a while. And same with Iron Man, same with Hulk, same with Black Widow. I've had him for a while, so it's kind of damaged. And cool about this character is not standing on like this. He's just not flat, right? This guy has actually brought the pad out of the stand, so it's really cool. And it's much more different than the patterns on it, so it's pretty cool. But the Hulk, now here's my Hulk video. Here's my Hulk figure. Much bulkier, much bigger, but probably taller because probably taller than Iron Man. I don't know about Thor. Actually, he's pretty taller than Thor, right? Because actually, maybe they're the same height. No, I think Hulk is bigger. He's probably bigger because of his size. This guy is my worst because he's really damaged. As you can see, all the marks on the back here, on the front here, there's like marks right there. So that's pretty bad. There's marks kind of everywhere on the arm here and on the other arm, I think. On the hand, on the foot. Well, not the foot. I think the foot. It's okay. But this guy is pretty damaged because of its playing figures. This guy is not, well, these guys are not figures you should play with. I take my advice because, well, if you don't want your guys being damaged like this, then I suggest you don't play with them. But it's pretty fun. This guy does have a flat ground to it, flat ground. But it has more rocks on it, like the bumps here. So that's pretty interesting. So that's kind of all I have to say the Hulk. I'm sorry, Hulk. I don't want to offend you or anything. But he is in a pose where it's really easy to grab an opponent. So let's say if Iron Man and Hulk are fighting, you can grab him, you can punch him, you can grab him by that and be like smashing him. But usually it's like you can make him jump as well, jump out of the sky. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say to Hulk because Hulk isn't like the detailist person. But he's damaged and all that stuff. So I'm running out of room here to put all my figures on the other side. Next up, we have. Well, actually, it's not supposed to be there. I'm gonna do one more that's on a stand, much different. This guy is another Iron Man, and he looks almost identical, but just more comic book version-y than the actual show. So this guy's pretty cool because I don't know what's going on with this like wind here. I don't know what's going on with that. It looks pretty interesting and weird. But other than that, I thought this guy was pretty cool, and I think he is a little bit damaged too. But he is actually in the original yellow and red. I don't know if that's supposed to be gold, but it looks yellow to me. So it's pretty shiny still. Still pretty shiny, so it's pretty good metal there. I don't know if they painted it or if it's just a sculpt, but I like this because he's taking off or he's flying, and there it looks like his boot, but it's actually not. It's actually his lift-off pad or his engine where shoots out. So that's all I have to say to him too, because he's not very awesome detail. And doesn't have any movement either. None of my figures except the Smasher and the Colossus do not have any movement. This guy, on the other hand, I'm going to give you a hint. This right here, you might all know who this is. Anyways, I'm going to tell you anyways, but if you don't want to know, then yeah, don't. The Homecoming version of the Vulture. If you all don't know what the Spider-Man Homecoming is, this is the villain. His name's Vulture. I know it doesn't look like the comic version, but they wanted to make him look more of the futuristic, so they made him have these wings. These wings are supposed to go together. Now, over time, I've learned how to put them together, but at first, I really didn't know how to put them on because it was really hard. But I thought that this figure was pretty cool, even though he does not have any movement in the hands or the feet, but he has a little bit of movement here. And he has this little leg thing going on there, but still. So what we're gonna do is basically, and I'm gonna talk about this figure a little more. So basically, what you want to do is that these are wings here, and in this one there's a peg that you're supposed to put this peg thing in. So you have to line it up like so, or you can just completely mess it up. It's fine by me, but you probably want to do it like this, where you're just aligning them up like so, and you want to just make sure you got it right. Now, sometimes it's really hard. Like right now, I don't know why I'm failing, but you can put it at the top. You can align it at the top, and it's supposed to look like this. Now, when you put it in good, it doesn't move. Like, if you even try it for a tiniest bit. Now, if you do it hard, if you are meaning to do that, it can come apart still. But when you put it in the correct way, let me just do this real quick. I have to do this correctly. There we go. If you put it in the correct way, like my dad showed me, or I figured out myself, then it will stay when you put it onto the figure. As you can see, these peg holes here, there's peg holes there, Now you just line them up like so, and it goes on very easily. Now here, it's pretty weird, because it's the Vulture, right guys? So it comes, the wings come separate, not separate from the package, but in the package, just broken apart, taken them apart, or two pieces, and you have to put them together, and they look like this. Now I'm gonna take off this. Now you want to be careful, because when you take it off a specific way, you get this. But if you take it off another way, like if you took it off like that, it will come apart, and the pegs will still be in there. And this is the frustrating part, because you're trying to put this on, but it's just not going on, right? Now, this is my problem. And you gotta take it by the bottom or on the inside, and you gotta take it out like that. And when you're done with it, you can just try to put it together and test it. But I'm gonna talk about the figure and what it is. Like I said, this video might be longer. I really want you guys to like this support, because this is Stan Lee, man. Stan Lee's work. Now, there might be other people like the Marvel Studios, but Stan Lee created the characters themselves. Gosh. So, yes. Woo. This guy's really easy to stand. You just put him down. So, honestly, and this was pretty weird, because the Vulture actually does not have the claws coming out. The Vulture as in Marvel, not the actual animal. The animal does have this, so I guess they wanted to bring out the Vulture type. Now, the futuristic type was this, because it's actually a motor eyes thing. If you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you go do that. And I would suggest go to see the not the Infinity War, the Venom. I haven't seen it yet, but it's pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna see it. I will see it, but I'm just gonna be sad because Stan Lee died and he was in that movie. And I just know. I don't know. So basically this figure is like the Vulture, where Vultures have this like coat here, like this stuff here. The Vultures actually do have those. But the futuristic thing is that he has this metallized harness here on the legs too, as well. And that to attach to the feet. So basically he puts his feet into the things, and he also puts on his jetpack and he goes flying. Now this helmet was interesting because the actual Vulture, and yes, I'm going to talk about the actual Vulture sometimes, a lot actually. The actual Vulture does not have this this futuristic robotic type. It actually has more of the green and like human type, where he's like more of the meta-human type thing. But I don't mind this design, and I didn't mind Michael Keaton playing as the Vulture. I think it's Michael Keaton. I don't know for sure, but I think so. But this helmet is also futuristic. By the tubes here and the helmet here. It's pretty cool. So that's kind of all I have to say. And the designs are pretty cool. So there you go. And I might not do a video, but if you guys really enjoyed this, I might do separate videos for the separate things. But for the guys I've already done the videos on, I'm just gonna say that this is Deadpool Venom, and I don't have to say anything else. I don't have to say anything about the articulation, about what I think is wrong, or what is right. So, but I will tell you that the head comes off, the hands come off, and that's all the pieces that come off. And same with the Carnage. His head and hands come off too, and he does come with an accessory. Now, Venom comes with this accessory, which goes easily on his back, and that's his Venom stuff. So, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna do like 2 more because that's what I have, and this video is actually kind of short-ish. So. Okay, so this is Wolverine from the other Mashers. So actually his hands, his head, his thighs, and foot come off. But his arms do not, and his thighs don't come apart. So it's a full-on torso and a full-on arm torso. So if you try taking it out, then it will become like Hulk with my missing leg. So the peg will snap off if you put it in a specific way, especially with my Hulk. Its leg snapped off, so it only has 1 leg. So I thought that was pretty interesting because of this Wolverine's hand. I did not expect it to be at all like this. Now, I don't know if it's the Days of the Future Past version of him, or if it's just like the modern version with his hand cut off and he had to get a robotic version. But he does look farmerish with the jacket and the red shirt and the jeans and the shoes. Obviously, that's his look. But yeah, nothing really more designful about this character. Nothing really at all designed. But I thought that was pretty cool. And his hair as well, and his face, it just matches him. Next up, last one. We have the Green Goblin. There are many versions of the Green Goblin. There could be a suit, but this guy is more of a metahuman type with metahuman strength. Metahuman, I don't know. But he does not come with anything else. I don't know if he came with pumpkin bombs, but if he did, I kind of lost him. But this right here is the actual comics version of the Green Goblin. So basically, he should have came with a jet, because what he's supposed to have is a jet that's supposed to fly, make him fly. So he didn't come with that. But also, again, his hands, his head, his thighs, his feet can come off, but it's a full-on armed with a torso that cannot come off. So, yeah, this guy is, he has scales, as you can see. His face is really creepy. That's kind of all I have to say for the Green Goblin. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I suggest you give a like to me. Subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of things on there. Soon I'll have games. Hopefully, if I get my TV back, I'll have the games. So, yeah. Sorry if I didn't make any videos this week, except today. I mean, before that, I was a bit occupied with homework, TV watching, playing with my brother. And then Stanley came up, and I was pretty sad I couldn't do a video at all. But I eventually did it, and hopefully you like this video, and hopefully you give a like and you watch it. So, and if people don't like Stanley, then I'm sorry, this is not for you. But if you love Stanley, like he was your hero, then I suggest you watch this video and hopefully learn about some of the heroes and some of the villains that he created and some of my action figures also. So, sorry guys.